Well, hello there, my friends. It is another Warrior Wealth podcast week. So we dug some stuff out of the archives for you again from one of our events. Enjoy this content. I'll be back with you for a short message at the end of this Warrior Wealth training, talking about the Warrior Wealth Summit. This is why I seduce the shit out of you guys 24/7. Because you don't represent you. Why do I want 60 men today on video? Because guess who gives you the gold? Your fucking current gold clients. And some of the greatest stuff they can give you is their voice and their commitment to your cause. This, for whatever reason, not one time. We would run events, Sean, 500 people in the room, entire names, emails, phone numbers. My assistants would collect them in the beginning during mortgage days. Collect them all at the beginning of the event. At the end of the event, I remember every month for 2 years, my girls would come up to me, hey, we have like 400 and some names here with names, emails, phone numbers, and addresses of clients. And I was like, well, just highlight the ones that we can do mortgages with right now. And they're like, well, what do you want to do with the rest of them? I was like, just fucking throw it away. Makes me sick, dude. Makes me sick. What I was literally saying is, go ahead and shred the resource for 2 years that would have sustained our fucking business. We would not have fucking tanked if we had taken care of our clients. But we didn't. We did a deal, and then what, Sean? Next, let's go find another one. This is me with our 2 boys, our financial advisors coming to Warrior Week in January. They're like, well, we want to build all these new marketing funnels, and we want to run ads, and we want to do this. And I said, wait a second, let me get this straight. You both have almost 700 clients from the past 3.5 years. What are you doing with them? But we're really excited about a Facebook ad campaign. Shut the fuck up. What are you doing with the 700 clients right now? Are you even talking to them? No. How many in the room right now know that 2017 can be radically different and you might not have to do any front-face marketing at all if you just built better internal seduction systems with your past clients? Raise your hands. Yep. Magic game over. 2 cut. Boom. And the crazy part is you were one who went on media with a movement. We're going to talk about movements this afternoon. Yes. You have a fucking cause behind your blinds. That cause gives you permission with that email list to talk about and to run affiliate offers and to communicate and to be a beacon for change and safety in the home. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? There's like a 50+ product suite off the back end of this. But they just need someone who will take a stand like you did on the news and take a stand, which, crazy enough, is you. It's you. 1.4 million. Crazy part is, you know and I know, if you cultivated that over the next 60 days, you cultivated that list. Complete revenue 2017. Like legitimately dominate. And then crazy part is that list itself isn't about 1.4 million. It'd probably shrink down to like 800,000. But the responsiveness of 800,000 would go to 50, 60% open rates. And would increase crazy shares, would increase click-through rates, buy rates, everything goes up. All right, how many of you seeing this? Like, don't make this about Rick. You better make this shit about yourself. He's having the courage to stand up and talk about the reality for himself. How many know right now, no bullshit, no bullshit, 2 hands in the air, if you know you have done almost nothing to actually seduce and cultivate your past client base? Raise your hands. Good. 2 cut. Boom. We're going to move into another conversation. So the first time that I heard this phrase, direct response marketing, like I was literally like being taken down this path for 4 days like you guys. And I'm writing all this shit down and I'm having like, things are popping for me all over the place. When I go back through these same questions which I do about every 3 to 4 months because the messaging and everything changes. We see new things. I answer the questions. Things get refined. This piece right here, direct response, we're not going to have a specific form for this one, so you're going to be kind of general notes. Direct response marketing is very different than what I had been taught in Business 101. Direct response, who would like to give me a definition for what this means? We have a bunch of marketers in here. What is direct response marketing? The words, this is what's so fun about direct response marketing, is it's even described inside the words of direct response marketing. What does it mean?
Marketing get a response.
Marketing that demands or commands a response.
Call to action.
A call to action. Problem, possibility, path, pitch. Direct response marketing says we do not send anything to our clients or put any type of promotional material or information out that has not first been thought through as to what is the response that we are requiring or expecting from this piece that we are sending. Now I know I need my guys on this list to buy. I cannot train them to be okay with just reading shit. So what did I tell them to do in the email today? Watch a video was one thing. That was at the very bottom. What was the other thing? Respond and do what?
Say yes.
Hell yes.
Be grateful.
Constantly be grateful. I'm getting you a deal for $1,000, and send me an email and tell me if you're in. By the end of the day, we'll have 400, 500 hell yeses sitting in my inbox, which now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have emailed somewhere else because I'll be fucking gassed, but whatever. But I constantly am looking for a response. Click this, do this, think this, try this, go here, consider this. No message without a clear call to action. Now, in a marketplace filled with people who are trying to communicate messages all over the place, social media, emails, in your inbox, mailbox, walking down the street, billboards, everywhere. Everyone is trying to communicate and seduce you. The media is constantly seducing. You are media. I am media. Politically, religiously, spiritually, financially, everyone's communicating, and the only shit that gets anything done is information that is driven by direct response behavior and mindset. We had somebody come to me and Jeremy, a big movie guy in LA, and he's like, listen, your documentary could be massive. We're like, tell us more. He's like, if you just get rid of all, it gets annoying how many times you're telling people to apply for Warrior Week. He's like, if you just took that out and we put it on Netflix, and I said, that and a bottle of lotion, and I could jerk myself off every day. And he's sitting there going, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm not building this fucking movie to impress people. This thing is meant to sell an idea and sell an application. If you take all that out and we put it on Netflix, I will have a bunch of people that watch the movie and do what?
Nothing.
Nothing. But I'll feel cool. Yes! I feel awesome. Lots of people like my movie. Can I borrow $5? But I got lots of awards and my movie's awesome. But you're fucking broke. So direct response goes after an elicited reaction, which means when I'm seducing the queen and I'm communicating a message, I'm also looking for what? A specific response. Might not be sex. Something else. With my children, it's the same thing. Direct response is an attitude that I do not communicate a message without a something to do at the end. A something to do. This is an attitude. It changes in the way you think, but it is not always buy my shit. In strategic seduction, direct response turns into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, there's the big commitment. The build up to this next launch of 100, I've sent 17 emails. 17 hours I have sat writing copy. People are like, how are your open rates so high? Well, because I give a shit. And I understand seduction. And when I open a cart, I want to compete with Ironman Arizona. And I want to see if we can sell out in an hour. So I'm going to pre-seduce. And I'm going to communicate a message with a direct response so that by the time we open it up in the morning on the 12th, guess what everybody on that list knows what to do? What are they doing when they wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock that morning? Refreshing, refreshing, refreshing. What the fuck's the email? What the fuck's email? What the fuck's email? Is it coming? Where's the email? Fucking goddamn it. We'll start getting emails that morning. Dude, did I miss email? What time? Is it Pacific? Is it Mountain? Is it Eastern? I'm in London. What the fuck time is this email coming?
I've received 2 emails from your launch on the 12th from guys just randomly trying to message me.
Huh?
About the 12th. They're so excited about the 12th.
No, it's like, yeah.
I just want to tell you, Ben had to leave at 9 a.m. What did he do? Sign up for Ironman, half, Arizona. Left this conference to do specifically that.
Yeah, because I was afraid I'd miss.
Because why? It will sell the fuck out.
Yeah, I knew it would sell out.
It did sell the fuck out. So this kind of demand is what we want for what? Our businesses, but you're not going to get there if you don't start treating it with direct response, behavior, and mentality. So let's do what that looks like then and what that means. Direct response requires us to take a journey, and that first journey is to answer a series of questions. We're going to do some more question and answer. Okay, the first one is, what is your target thinking about? If you think about the person that's buying from you, or the person who potentially will buy from you, what is going on inside their mind? Like, what are they thinking about today? What do they think about when they wake up? What are they thinking about when they go to sleep? What are they thinking about throughout the day? What are they excited about? What are they scared of? What are they afraid of? Afraid they're going to get denied a car loan. Afraid they're going to look foolish in front of their wife because they got fucking denied because their credit's shitty. Afraid how demasculated they feel because they can't even get a fucking car loan. How demoralizing it feels as an adult man not able to get a car. These games, we're getting in their head. What are they thinking about? The second question we're asking ourselves, inside of those thoughts, how can we get them to raise their hand and give us permission to talk to them? What can we say or do that would elicit a desire from them to raise their hands and say, I want more. I want more from you. I want more from your business. I want more from your teams. I want more. But this requires us to back up to the first question, which is we have to figure out what they're thinking. Is this any different with your wife? If you don't know what she's thinking, and you're like, dude, you can't know what she's thinking. You can if you are willing to collide and do what? Have real, raw, vulnerable, relevant conversations. Is that any different with clients? How do I know what's going on inside of a warrior man's mind? And why has our marketing become so specific? Because we literally have thousands of applications that tell us what? What they're thinking. We ask them questions. What are you thinking? And they're like, and we're like, thank you. Shit. After 2,000 of these, guess what we found? Some patterns in thinking. And it doesn't matter if you're from the Ukraine, Australia, South Africa, Canada, Norway, United States, Italy, France. It's the same. Sam gets off a call last night with a guy in the Czech Republic who's coming to Warrior X. And he's all, doesn't even fucking matter where they're from, bro. In the end, they're all dudes. Russian, Italian, English, doesn't matter. They're men. They all face the same shit. And we've seen these patterns. How do we get in their head? And what can you do to get them to raise their hand? Why would they want to listen to Daniel? Why would they tune in to listen to Kelly? Of all the shit they could do, why listen to you? What are they going to raise their hand about? Why would they give a shit that you sent them anything? Why do they care, Mike, if you had anything to say at all? Or your business had anything to say at all? Who gives a shit? We have to answer this question. The one after that is, what is the result that would be a dream come true for that prospect? If you could get in their head, number one, and number two, you could figure out how to get them to raise their hands and say, I want in, then what would be a dream come true based upon what you know is going on in their head? What's the very best thing you could do or provide to your prospect if they would let you? If you could get in their head, if you could get them to raise their hand and say yes, if you could get clear about what would be a beautiful result for them, what is the very best thing you could offer as a product, service, or solution to that prospect if they would let you? First we got in their head. Next we figured out how to get them to raise their hands and say, okay, I want to listen. Next we got really clear about what a big win would be for them. And third, now that we know what's going on in their head, now we have a clear idea how to get them to raise their hand and say yes. And we're now in a conversation. We know what their ideal win is. How do you and your service and product fit into that equation? If they let you offer it up and they said, yes, help me, Joe, what would you do? What is the process? What is the system? What is the offer? Last question. What are the conversations going on inside your prospect's mind? Because guess where your marketing is going to meet them? Right in the conversation in their mind that they haven't told anyone. And when you can do this, game over. Here's the thing with marketing to me that is the craziest, which is where we're going to start. Strategic seduction, y'all got it. When we talked about it at Warrior Week, we've talked about strategic seduction many times. We'll come back and reference it a little bit later today. But what's stage one of strategic seduction? Who can remember? Shit, maybe we need to spend more time on it. What's stage one? Strategic seduction.
Message.
Communicate message. Communicate message. Right? It doesn't matter what we're doing, whether we're in business or we're in marriage or we're in life, everything is about your skill sets in communicating a message. Whether it's to your kids, to the queen, to your clients, to your prospects in the marketplace, it doesn't matter. Your target and your goal is ability to level up how and the ways that you communicate. Some of you are great communicators. Writing. I should say this is a new form of writing. Writing. If we ask you to take some time and put some shit down on paper, go time. How many of you feel really powerful if you're given enough space? Let's say you had as much time as you needed, you had a whole day. Feel very, very confident in your writing skills to communicate a message. Raise your hands. Okay, good. How many would say that's your primary? The writing truly is the place that you excel when it comes, like if you had to sit back and send a message to your wife and you had an option, send a video, send an audio, send a text. How many of you are texters? Hands down. Audio. Hands down. Video. Will you go figure out why my door's going to open and back, and whoever's making all the noise in the hallway, tell them to shush or throw a kill cliff at them. Okay, so I have my ways to communicate, and regardless of what modality you choose, the art and the science of it are exactly the same. The frame that you will position in communicating a message is exactly the same. Would you like to know the frame? Yes. Yes? Okay, 3 of you. The rest of you, close your ears, plug them quickly. You guys cannot listen. So if you listen now, you're fuckers and you're stealing. All right? Okay, good. Here we go. Number 1, position the problem. Position the problem. I have an email I will share with you tomorrow that I sent to my wife. It's like 5 pages long. And it literally altered the trajectory of our entire reality. It was the most important sales letter I've ever written in my entire fucking life. I'll share it with you, and then she's gonna come live on Friday and validate. Okay, so position a problem. I had to clearly position a problem inside this email to my queen. No different than the email I sent out this morning with yet again, over 15,000 people on a particular game with an open rate of 56% now on 11 straight emails. Wow. Are you fucking kidding me? That means I sent an email and within 1 hour, I have over 5,000 people reading that email. Click-through rate, 32%. Whatever link I put in there, they fucking click and they go. Now, 2009, I had no idea what the fuck this meant. So, those of you who are sitting and looking at me with those eyes, like, I didn't even know you could open up an email. I just opened up envelopes that come to my house. How is this possible? Why are they clicking? What the fuck's that about? Don't worry, we'll explain to you. Along this place, though, I had to inside of those emails, I have to communicate the problem. Second, I have to paint the possibility. I've become master at doing this inside of multiple verticals. One also that I never thought I would become great at is communicating to women who want to spend $1,500 to $2,000 to get their hair done. And stylists who want to learn how to get women to put hair in at $1,500 to $2,000 a pop. I got very good. I'm better than my wife, and that's her industry. But I follow the same model. Position the problem, paint the possibility. Third, the path. Demonstrate that you have some kind of access point between these two places. Hey, I can get us from here to here. Go from here to here. Here to here. We finally landed the contract with the hairline that we wanted and the manufacturers of that hairline in 2 different countries. So 2017 is going to be crazy inside of our salon businesses because of this exact game. But what was I doing to Boheme and to the rest of the groups that we were negotiating with? Step 1, position the problem. Step 2, paint the possibility. 3, insert the path. 4, pitch. Tell people to do shit. It seems so funny. Right? You'll watch people who will do masterful at position of the position of problem all day long. They're like, oh, the problem, yes. And people are like, yeah, I know. And they're like, here's where we're gonna go. And they're like, yes, okay. And here's how we're gonna do it. And then, well, I mean, they got it. If they got it, they'll just come. They won't. Most people will not do shit. But when you say things like, what I want you to do next is, the mind goes, oh, what I need to do next is then this. You've got to have the balls to what? Be a leader that is okay with telling people to what? Do shit. If you don't have the balls to tell people to do shit, guess what? They're not going to do it. And then you'll be frustrated because you still don't have the result that you were looking for. Now, if you've done this correctly, do people feel manipulated when you're telling them to do shit? No, you're just telling them what to do to get access to what? What they want. That you've helped them clearly see they want by positioning the problem, painting the possibility, inserting the path, and then saying, hey, if you want this shit, guess what? Here you go. Here's what I want you to do next. Turn anybody next to you, explain this to them really quickly. Here we go, quick. Okay, so when I started this idea that I was like really gonna master marketing, I don't do things normal, right? It's like the first time I decided to go to therapy. I hadn't really gone to therapy. I'd never gone to therapy with my wife. I'd gone with my ex-wife. Obviously it didn't work out so well. And had never been with Danielle. So when we decided to take on therapy, I took it on like a normal human being. I searched out and found the top 3 therapists in Orange County for marriage therapy. I hired all 3 of them, and we went to all 3 of them within the next 24 hours. It's quite normal behavior, right? Within 3 months of therapy, I had learned things about therapy and had learned things about my relationship that most people take years to figure out in therapy. So everything in my world is hyper accelerated because once I know a path is a place I'm supposed to go, I fucking burn anything else as an option and I go. Marketing was no different for me. So when I recognized that my game was to master the tip, I hired 4 coaches at the same time. I hired a guy named Dean Jackson, a guy named Frank Kern, a guy named Perry Marshall, and Brendan Burchard. Why not fuck around and take them all on at once? A little overwhelming, of course. I did take on 3 therapists in marriage, and I thought it was a smart idea to run 188 miles by yourself. So there are some successful clues here of my own addiction patterns, including dips in alcoholism and a few other things that tend to all pattern after the same thing, which is I'm a little extreme. So marketing was no different. 2 frustrating things that happened to me when I hired all these guys and I started going to events in small groups. I just skipped it and went straight to the top. Whatever they had in the big group, I was like, fuck it, I'm sure that's where everybody hangs out and not much goes on. So I'm gonna go up to the very top. How do I hire you at the top? And 2 of them, I walked right up to events and said, listen, I wanna give you a lot of money. How do I just work directly with you? And they were like, well, I'm not really offering anything. I was like, okay, well, if you were to offer something, then what would you offer me so that I could just give you some money and then you could work right with me? I said, well, come back to me at lunch and I'll give you a dollar amount. I was like, okay. And they came back at lunch and he said, be X. And I was like, all right, done. But I did all of them at the same time. 80-20 marketing and sales, business blueprint, all these shit these guys were teaching, convert, all these things you've seen from Frank, from Dean, and all these guys, I got it all at once. And the most frustrating piece is I went there, and guess what they all provided me with? Lots of fucking questions. I was like, what the fuck is this?
No answers.
I went in, I sat down, and they like marketing stacked my ass. Told me nothing and asked me lots of questions. Then when I got answers to the questions, it got doubly frustrating. I said, well, do you think this will work? And guess what they said? I don't know. I was like, I have fucking been taken by all 4 of these motherfuckers at the same time. Because they weren't hanging out together, but they were all giving me the exact same answers. They gave me the right questions, and the answer was always test it. I thought they were full of shit. I thought it was a pussy way out. It's like me saying, I don't know if that's right for you. What do you think? And you're like, dude, just fucking tell me what to do. Should I get married or should I get divorced? I'm like, dear God, don't put that on me. I was like, I don't know if you should get married or divorced. What do you think you should do? Well, I don't know. I was like, well, yeah, I think you should test that. Garrett, what should I do? And inside of this marketing world, though, I learned some of the greatest principles of all time, which is no one can give these answers to me. The same thing I learned hiring 17 different life coaches. At the end of the day, the best ones always did the same with me. The shitty ones always told me they had the answer. The best ones knew the best thing they could do was open space for me and help me ask the right questions. And then I had to demonstrate that I had the courage and the fortitude and the commitment to answer those questions and to go the fucking distance. This is why I named this the marketing dirty work. Everybody wants to talk about ads. Everybody wants to talk about it. I want to do ad spend. If you don't have clarity of what the fuck you're trying to say, it doesn't matter how much money you dump into advertising. Because nobody's going to listen to or do shit with what you have to say. So as I've been preparing and going through these with you guys and getting ready for this week, I started going back and looking at all the successful campaigns that I've done in multiple tiers now and said, why are they successful? And it's because I had clear answers to the questions that we're going to go through. So if you thought I was going to give you a magic pill, nope, not happening. But what I will give you is the questions, and then we're going to have small and large group conversations that will hopefully help you guide you to the result of those answers for who? For yourself. So before we start any of these questions, I'm going to ask you one simple question. I want you to write a number down on your journal. This single question changed my world. It came from Dean Jackson. Dean looked me in the eyes the very first time I worked with him. He said, how much money would you be willing to pay for your ideal client? I was like, what do you mean? He said exactly what I just said. He's like, give me a dollar figure. How much money would you pay for your ideal prospect? I was like, well, he's like, no, if you could literally just write a check, or you could pull your card out and swipe it, and you could get exactly who you wanted, how much would you be willing to pay? So now I'm going to ask you that same question 5 years later, from the first time I heard it. Write your number down. What's your dollar figure? How much would you be willing to pay for an ideal client in your business today? Now, if you have multiple products, services, or offerings, pick one. What is the dollar figure for you? The dollar figure in our salon is $1,700. We average first ticket $1,432. I'll pay more than we even make the first time. Knowing this number has allowed us to outspend everybody around us. I'm willing for Warrior Week to spend $6,732 for one ticket at 10 grand. Turn to anybody next to you. What's your number? What's your number? I don't know why. I just never had considered it. I had been in business for 10 years, and not once had considered that I could actually go buy a ticket to my client. That if I could figure out the messaging and I could get the dollars with it, I could actually go reach out into the marketplace and I could buy a client and bring them home. And then when I wanted some more, I could do what? I could take some money, go out here, and I could buy some and bring some home. Hey, we want some more girls in the chair at the salon. Oh, okay. Click. I guess we'll buy some. We'll take that one and that one and that one. You three come with me. Sit down, enjoy. Oh, you need three more? Okay. 1, 2, 3. You three come with me. And I figured out what I could actually acquire a client for. My old thinking inside of marketing for me was that marketing was the last thing I considered. It was the thing I thought about after everything else was done, including logos, branding, accounting. I mean, you got to get your fucking accounting straight, and then you figure out your marketing. I got to have 12 spreadsheets ready to go. I should spend a month worrying about my logo and whether I should name my business X or Y or Z. Or you could get a problem that's even bigger, which is you could get a shitload of clients. Rob Bell. Anyone know who Rob Bell is? The Christian, used to be a Christian pastor leader, and then he wrote on a few books, etc. Pissed a lot of people off. That's why I like him. He said, guess what? Tricks up, everybody goes back. What? Burn him. Here's the thing that's cool about Rob Bell, though. Everybody was getting pissed off at him when he launched some of his books, his book Love Wins, and all these other things he'd launched. They were upset at him. He was sitting on an interview, and I was laughing my ass off. He said, well, what do you think about all your critics? And he said, well, I think that all my critics don't have a parking problem on Sunday. The end. Which really meant, listen, my church is overflowed, and we have a parking problem on Sundays, and these people mocking me don't have anything going on. They got Grandma Mildred and her two friends, both their hair is purple, and they're sitting in the front row. I have a parking problem because my shit works. So being able to get to these numbers is important because they give you courage. They give you courage. Knowing what a client is worth to you and knowing how much you'd be willing to pay to get that client gives you courage as a businessman. Because you're no longer sitting in a game hoping that what? People will show up at your church. Some of the best marketers I've ever seen in the game are very active churches, at least in the US. I haven't experienced that outside. It's crazy to watch what happens. Like some of the best ones are marketing phenoms. People get pissed at them for marketing so well. I'm like, dude, they're a business, bro. You could probably learn some shit from the marketing they do, including billboards, blanketing neighborhoods with direct mail, direct response, their follow-up sequence with emails. Any of you ever experienced this shit? Like they are marketing machines, some of these big churches. It's crazy awesome. Learn so much from it. I'm very impressed. I'm like, you actually give a shit about me. You don't just shake my hand, call me brother, and hope I come back. You have a follow-up sequence, a call sequence, a tagging if-then scenario that goes on for me based on my behavior or showing or not showing up. You know when I come, you know when I don't, and you direct response market me with sales letters to come back. Shit, good for you. I will be back Sunday. 20% for you this time. Well done. So this game then of marketing is a mindset. And front of mind, it begins with being willing to buy clients. Not hoping they show up. Organically. Organic client base draw is great. It's great. And it could even be a huge percentage of your business, but where does your mindset need to be? Direct response, acquisition of clients. How can I buy them? Everything else is gravy. Yes, do your SEO. Yes, get all your organic. Yes, blog. Yes, get people following on social media. All that's great. But at the end, you need predictability and sustainability, and the only way to pull that off is to be a direct response marketer who is willing to buy your clients, buy your contracts, and acquire business. And it is fun because Nick and I have had this conversation so many times around this exact topic, just about every single Empire event. When we're talking with the guys about the concept of marketing, we've just never gone this deep in it, right? This game of understanding this begins with understanding this, which is you are a hunter in the game of marketing. If you'll see yourself from this place, you'll realize that this is not a commodity. This is a resource of scarce availability. Most people will not hunt. So if you're willing to hunt or you're willing to figure it out, game over. Most doctors are slaves to hospitals and to insurance companies because they don't know how to what? Hunt. Well, God bless you guys. You guys went to school for like 17 years, and then you became excellent at what you did in surgery, and then hoped that the medical side would provide leads, which they do, and then they grab you by the fucking balls. Well, what happens if you're a doctor and you can get your own leads? Fuck you, hospitals. Fuck you, conglomerates. Fuck you, doctors coming together with a medical practice running and managing, and hey, we could all be leaders on the board. Or you could tell everyone to fuck off and figure out how to market and go get your own clients. Or you could do that. Or you could give yourself a prostate exam every morning by yourself. I don't know. Like there's a lot of things you could do. That could be one of them. Or you could just, I say that because I just had a full all-day physical. It was craziness. I loved it. Across the board. She had soft hands. It was nice. All right, let's continue. So I want you to imagine this. Imagine that you could send an email right now. This is not a real fucking email, so please don't send anything. I don't know what about. Might go to a porn site or something. I don't know. Let's imagine you could get right now, I had you guys pull out your cell phones, and you could send an email to unlimited@givemeclients.com. Like you could just send an email there, and on that email, you could tell them exactly how many leads you wanted. You could also tell them how often you wanted them. And you could also tell them how much you'd be willing to pay. Most entrepreneurs have no idea. Even if this email existed for real, it wouldn't fucking matter. Because they wouldn't have much to say. Well, give me tons, as many as you've got. How many of you are right now that you could actually bankrupt your business if you got too much business? Raise your hand. This is a fact for us at Warrior. Our manufacturer Warrior Book, we're like, we're ready to do 10,000. I was like, I appreciate you ready to bankrupt me. Like, we literally could not sustain it. We're letting 100 units out every 4 weeks so that I can prove my delivery systems, shipping, everything fucking works. I will not unleash the beast on this, even though I have 3,500 people ready right now to give me $1,000 to buy this book. We're not selling more than 100. And then in 4 weeks, we'll do 100 more. And in 4 weeks, we'll do 100 more. Because more leads for me inside a Warrior Book causes us problems. Selling too many. But that's a good problem to have, is have too many what? Too many clients. Gives you options. Here's a couple questions. If you could do this, what lead do you want? Write that down and I'm going to give you 1 minute to describe it. 1 minute. Let's turn some music on. Describe it. What lead do you want? Like, what is it to talk about it from what just only that context? Describe the lead that you want. You're going to send it right here to this email, unlimited@givemeclients.com. What is the lead that you want? Describe it.
All right, so this is what we'll be working on at the Warrior Wealth Summit. Is a powerful tool just like this. You can learn more by going to warriorwealth.com and getting an uncovered experience around this idea of what this event is all about. There are limited seats available to the public, as most of the men coming to this event, and the seats will be taken are current active members of our Warrior Brotherhood. I would love for you to be part of that. You can check that out by going to warriorwealth.com and checking out a ticket. Tickets are $1,000, and I'd love to have you there. We have a limited 50 to 70. We're making available to the public out of the 300 seats available for this event, and I hope one of them is yours. That being said, my friends, thanks so much for being here. I have appreciated having you. I've enjoyed having you in this week's podcast, and I look forward to seeing you live in Huntington Beach, California in June with me at the Warrior Wealth Summit.